How good is Xavier Legette? Well, we're going to do a deep dive into his profile, usage, advanced stats, and break down what we see from him on film to get a good idea of his strengths and weaknesses and how he's being utilized by the Panthers, as well as what we might be able to expect from him in the future. And so when we think about Legette, he's 6'1", 221 pounds, and so he is a big dude. When we think about somebody with this build, they're more than likely going to be an X. Depending on their athleticism, they could be a Z, as well as a big slot. He was selected 32nd overall in the NFL draft. He is a little bit older at 23 years and 9 months old, but to help contextualize that, he was a high school quarterback, so he had to learn how to be a receiver in college. But not only that, he unfortunately dealt with the deaths of both of his parents. And so for him to even be here is absolutely incredible, and props to him. Looking at his athleticism, it's remarkable. So at 6'1", 221 pounds, this guy ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. That's awesome. But not only that, that gives him a height and weight adjusted speed score in the 98th percentile. That's amazing. Looking at his burst score, his vertical and broad jump, that's 89th percentile, and his catch radius is in the 88th percentile. And so across the board, you have somebody that is an elite athlete in the ways in which he tested. Looking at his agility score, you'll notice there isn't one. The thing about him is he's more of a linear athlete. He's not really the most agile receiver. And so for that reason, you want him in general running the linear route tree, your goes, your fades, your curls and comebacks. You'll see some shallow crosses for sure and a dig, corner routes and the like. But you don't really want him running more than one cut routes for the most part, just because he isn't the most agile. And so what we have here is somebody that's best used, at least in my opinion, as a vertical X, and he could see some slot work, but I still think that his best spot is as a vertical X. And so I took a look at weeks 1 through 17 and receivers with at least 75 targets. That was a total of 47. Legette ran 399 routes, which was 94.5% of the team routes when he played. He did miss week 16, so that's something to note. When we take a look at his usage, he plays 30.1% of his snaps in the slot and 69.9% out wide. And so he does see some slot work, but he is also a vertical X. Looking at his yards per out run, they're definitely not the best. His 1.17 is 46th in the sample size of 47 receivers, so that's not very good. His PFF receiving grade of 58.6 is 46th as well, so not very good there. Looking at his yak per reception, his 2.1 are 45th. That definitely isn't his strong suit. His 6 missed tackles forced are tied for 29th. That's not bad by any means, especially considering that he's more of a linear player once again. Looking at his contested catches, his 12 are tied for 18th, so pretty good there. Looking at his targets, his 76 are last in the sample size. His 46 receptions are 46th, so pretty much last. His 467 yards are last, and his 4 touchdowns are tied for 31st. And so the advanced stats don't paint a pretty picture, to be honest with you. And so that is a little bit disappointing. Looking at his route win rate, his 31.3% is 122nd in the NFL. And so it looks as though, based on the advanced stats, that he really isn't winning his routes either. Looking at his target separation, his 1.46 yards are 66th in the NFL. And the routes in which he runs will play a factor there for sure. But in general, we have somebody that is a vertical X. They do see some slot usage around 30% of the time, but they're not really winning the routes and they're not separating. And so when we break down how he performs versus man and zone, his PFF grade versus man of 64.6 is tied for 70th in the NFL, so that's really not very good. His yards per out run versus man of 1.49 or 64th in the NFL, honestly not that good. He does perform worse against zone according to PFF. His grade versus zone is 49.4, which is 103rd in the NFL. His yards per out run versus zone of 0.85 or 91st. His PFF grade on screens of 42.1 is 96th. He's not really the best at following his blockers per se. He's just, once again, more of a linear athlete. Looking at his PFF grade in the slot, his 57.4 is 93rd, and his 25 first downs caught are 45th in the NFL. And so once again, the advanced stats and PFF's opinion are that he really isn't performing at the highest level right now. And I say that as right now, he's a rookie. Looking at his target accuracy, his 6.5 grade is 33rd in the NFL. And so that's not bad by any means, but that's not great either. Now, looking at his yards after catch, his 95 are 96th in the NFL. Once again, like I said, he's not really the best after the catch. He's, once again, a linear athlete. If you give him open space, he can absolutely accelerate. He has a very good high-end speed once he gets chugging along. Looking at his yards per target, his 6.3 are 92nd. And so it is a little bit concerning, to be honest with you, that given that his yards per target isn't that high, that he isn't getting yards after the catch. Looking at his yards per team pass attempt, his 0.96 are 75th. His target quality rating of 5.56 is 23rd, so pretty good. His catchable target rate of 72.9% is 35th. Not the best, but not bad. And looking at his target share and target rate, his target share of 16.1% is 58th in the NFL, so that's really not very good. And his target rate of 19.1% is 66th. And so the advanced stats, at least, are saying that he is struggling quite a bit at the NFL level as a rookie. But what do we see from him on film? Let's take a look. Looking at this first play, it is a little bit hard to see just because of where Legette is in the formation, but he's going to be lined up right here. He is running a stutter go. It is going to be effective. You're going to get press cover 3 by the Saints, and so you're going to have 3 deep third defenders with your underneath coverage. And so on this play, make note of the head fake that he uses along with the stutter to gain some separation. It does cause the cornerback to stumble for half a second. Now, the cornerback does a remarkable job of recovering, but also at the very end of the route, notice the little shove that Legette gives the cornerback to gain just a little bit more separation. And so right here, you're going to notice that the cornerback is going to stumble. And so it was effective, and it's pretty good recovery by the cornerback, honestly. Looking though, you see right there, the little shove that creates just enough separation. Unfortunately, the pass is going to be basically out of bounds. But another thing to pay attention to here is look at how much real estate Legette leaves for Bryce Young to fit this ball into. That is exactly what we want to see. Obviously, Young is going to throw it just a little bit to the left of Legette and the cornerback because obviously you don't want there to be any way for the cornerback to be able to get into the play. But to allow Bryce Young to have a decent window to throw into, you need to be as far in field as you can reasonably be while also having the outside leverage here. And so overall, a very good route that was absolutely successful. It's unfortunate for him that the cornerback didn't or recovered rather quickly from his stumble, but he did everything he was supposed to here. It was just that the ball was a little bit out of his reach. And looking at week 3, here we have Legette. He's actually going to go in motion between these two receivers, and he is going to run a little stab route. What we're going to get from the Raiders here is a cover 3, so you're going to have your 3 deep third defenders with your underneath coverage. And so what Legette's going to do is he's going to spot up in between the 2 defenders, the linebackers here, and in the whole of the zone coverage. And I really like the way he runs this route. I'll show you what I mean. And so he's going to go in motion. And watch him run this. And so he is going to go right behind the linebacker here and then spot up in between them. And so, bam, Bryce Young throws it really tight window there. Jeez. And so Bryce Young hits him right there. And watch, he immediately turns upfield and look at him get going. It's a shame he didn't have a better angle there. But I really like his feel for the zone right here. I love how he slips right behind the linebacker. Really good pass from Bryce Young. And then he just heads directly upfield, gets chugging, and gets all the yak he can get. And one correction, it was Andy Dalton throwing him the pass on that last clip, not Bryce Young. Not that it really matters. It's pretty inconsequential as far as Legette's concerned, but just something to note. On this play, we're going to have Legette at the top of your screen. He is running a little hitch. Note the deceleration in the snap when he comes back to face the quarterback. Really impressive, especially for somebody being 6'1", over 220 pounds. As far as the Raiders are concerned, it's going to be a cover 6. And so you're going to have a flat down here, a half field safety here, and then you're going to have quarters coverage on this side of the field with your underneath coverage. And so it's a good play. Andy Dalton's obviously a vet. He knew exactly where he wanted to go. But look at Legette run this route. And so he really sells upfield. He takes a second to get going, but man, if you do not respect his deep speed, he gets chugging. And so I really love how he just bursts off the line, really threatens deep, but then look at that snap. Look at that. Very impressive. Look, I mean, yeah, that looks like Malik Neighbors. Obviously, he's much bigger, but look at the snap right there. And so he gets it. He isn't really able to get any yak because, you know, the defender was just coming right in there. But look at that route. And if it was somebody like Malik Neighbors, yeah, it would be impressive. But Legette is just so much bigger. So that snap right there is really impressive. Looking at week 4, we have Legette right here. He is running a corner. You're going to get a whip route by Deontay Johnson with a dig by Tommy Tremble. As far as the Bengals are concerned, you're going to get quarters or cover 4. And so you'll have your 4 deep quarter defenders, and then you're going to have your underneath coverage here. And so Cam Taylor-Britt and Mike Hilton are both going to bite for the dig route by Tommy Tremble, leaving Legette wide open. And so the point of this play isn't the route running. He's going to make a really nice catch away from his frame on the sideline, somehow get both feet in, and complete the process of the catch. It's really impressive. Just take a look. And so you'll see that both of them are going to bite for this dig, which is going to leave Legette wide open. But look at this catch. What a grab. You can tell just from this clip alone, he has incredibly strong hands. Look at that. And then somehow gets both feet in. Really good spatial awareness. And yeah, really impressive. And taking a look right here, we have Legette. He is running a little bang 8. Now, you're also going to have Tommy Tremble running a little stab route right here. The Bengals are going to be in cover 3, and so you'll have your 3 deep third defenders with your underneath coverage. And so the stab route here is going to suck all 3 of these guys down here, leaving Legette behind them. And so he obviously wants the inside leverage here. Watch what he does to gain separation. And so first of all, he just explodes off the line, which I like, but watch how he shifts his weight into DJ Turner right here. He is really making it hard for Turner to try to stay with him. And so you'll see instant separation there. Gets the ball, isn't really able to do too much, but I really love how he plays this. I love how he gets the leverage. And I really like the scheming here by Dave Canales to get this and allow this to happen. And so just like Keon Coleman, even though he isn't the fastest guy, the fastest accelerator, he knows how to get around this by shifting his weight into the cornerback. Really good play from Legette. And same game, we have our first negative play. Legette is going to run a little hitch near the sideline here, and we're going to get Mingo on a slot fade. The Bengals are going to be in a cover 3, and so you'll have your 3 deep third defenders with your underneath coverage. And so this is designed to have the deep third defender here maintain the integrity of the defense by staying with the slot fade, which will then cause the underneath defender here to have to gain a lot of yardage to be able to get to this hitch. And so it's a clever play design. I like it. On this play, though, Legette is just going to have a concentration drop where I think he's just not scared per se, but trying to get a better idea as to where the defenders are in front of him so he doesn't get walloped. And so he's going to take his eyes off the ball, and it's just going to be a drop. And so you'll see right here, Mingo is threatening vertically, and so this outside cornerback is going to have to stay with him, which causes number 21, Mike Hilton here, to have to go quite the distance in order to be able to contend with them. And so you'll see Dalton already has the ball thrown, and he is so eager to get upfield that he takes his eyes off of it and drops it. And that could have been potentially with good blocking, a gain, maybe even a touchdown, depending on if he's able to make this guy miss. I'm assuming Mingo would have blocked him. But it's going to happen from time to time with everybody. but it is a mistake, and we hope to not see too much of this on film. And right here, we are going to have a shallow cross by JT Sanders. You're going to get a vertical route down here, and then you're going to get a little sail by Legette. As far as the Falcons are concerned, they're going to be in a cover 3, and so you'll have your 3 deep third defenders with your underneath coverage. And so on this play, just look at the pacing of the route here by Legette. There's nothing otherwise that's that special. He's not even targeted, actually. But he is going to perfectly time this so that the deep third defender here is occupied with the vertical route downfield, and look at how wide open he is. Now, Andy Dalton is going to get off of him too quickly, in my opinion. You'll see right here, he is just going to turn to the right, and he is going to forsake that read, but he did have Legette wide open. He is going to end up completing this to Deontay Johnson, but like I said, I just wanted you to pay attention to the pacing of the route. It's run perfectly, and should Andy Dalton have kept his eyes on that side of the field, that's absolutely a gain of 20 plus, potentially a touchdown, depending on his ability to get the angle down the sideline. And here we have a touchdown by Legette. He is running a corner. You're going to get Coker on a little flat route underneath. As far as the Falcons are concerned, you're going to get quarters coverage here with underneath right here. And so on this play, there's nothing special per se about the route from Legette, but I really like how he high points the ball here. So I'll show you what I mean. Goes right behind him, assesses where the ball is, high points it, brings it in, gets multiple feet in bounds to make sure it's a catch. And like I said, nothing special from the route, but I like that he high points the ball. He does a pretty good job of doing that. And yeah, you get a touchdown. And so here we have another play where he's not targeted, but I really like the route. So he's going to begin by bursting off the line with huge strides to show that he's going to threaten vertically. Then he's going to get the outside leverage here. And as soon as he's parallel with the cornerback, he is going to instantly decelerate. And I cannot stress enough how impressive the deceleration is for somebody his size. And he's going to end up hitting a curl right here. As far as the Commanders are concerned, you're going to get cover 3 from them. And so you'll have your 3 deep third defenders with your underneath coverage. And so he is going to be one-on-one on an island with this cornerback. Look at the snap here with the deceleration. 6'1", over 220 pounds. Look at that. He waits till he's right about parallel with the cornerback to start. Look at that separation. Really impressive stuff for somebody his size. He's probably never going to be the most advanced route runner. But in terms of running the vertical plane here, he absolutely has that part down. If you like what you're hearing and seeing so far, feel free to like and subscribe. I love doing these player breakdowns where we take a look at their profile, usage, advanced stats, and then break down what we see from these guys on film to get a really good idea as to how good somebody really is and marry both stats and film together. By the way, make sure you check out my other videos I've made on Brian Thomas, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Ladd McConkey, Keon Coleman, and the like. And I'm going to be making videos on basically all of the rookie wide receivers, a couple of the rookie running backs, Brock Bowers, as well as some of the quarterbacks. And so stay tuned for those. Thanks. Looking at week 8, we have Legette running a slant. What we're going to get from the Broncos is straight cover 1 man here with a zone right here, a hook zone, and then you're going to get a deep third right here from the safety. And so he is matched up one-on-one in straight man coverage with Pat Surtain. And so he's going to fight off incredibly physical coverage and catch a pass for a touchdown here that is behind him, close to where Pat Surtain is, because Surtain's trailing him, which makes this catch all the more impressive. And so you'll see that he's going to fight off very physical press coverage right here. No thank you. Get the inside leverage on the slant that he wants. But look at where this pass is. This is behind him to where Pat Surtain absolutely has a shot at least, knocking the ball away. No thank you. I am going to catch this. Thank you. Touchdown. And so once again, this isn't against a scrub. This is a touchdown in straight man-on-man coverage with Pat Surtain on a ball thrown behind him to where it should be pretty easy for Surtain to knock that away. Really impressive. And here against the Broncos, we're going to have another negative play. So Legette's going to be right here in the slot. He's going to be running a little out and up. You're going to get a vertical route from Coker downfield, and then you're going to get a little whip route right here. As far as the Broncos are concerned, you're going to get cover 3 from them. And so you'll have your 3 deep third defenders with your underneath coverage. And so the route is good, and it gets him open. Now, you can see the sun here. It's a possibility that the sun got in his eyes, but what you're going to see here is just a drop on a pretty well-thrown ball from Bryce Young. And so you'll see Legette fake to the outside and then wide open, and it just bounces off of his hands. It's also a possibility that he saw the safety ahead of him, and so he was trying to avoid a big hit there and took his eyes off of it. But this does hit him directly on the hands. And so what potentially could have been a huge play is a nothing burger because of a drop. And so like I said, everything except catching the ball was right there. And here we have Legette making up for his drop. He's going to be right here. First of all, you're going to get Coker on a little flag route. Then you're going to get a little corner by Legette with a leak into the flat by JT Sanders. As far as the Broncos are concerned, you're going to get cover 3 where you have a hook right here, or a robber in other words. You're going to have a hook right here. You're going to have your 3 deep thirds and then your deep middle field third right here with flat coverage from him. And so on this play, Legette is going to sky up and high point the ball. When you definitely see this on his film. We saw it at South Carolina. He is very good at high pointing the football. And so what he's going to do is square up for the catch, sky up for it, get both hands on it, bring it down, complete the process of the catch. Really impressive. And so I love the pacing of the route. He goes right behind Coker. It's like an escort. And so then he's going to find the soft spot right here, hit the corner, sky up for it, complete the catch. Good stuff from Legette. And here we have Legette with a 3-yard touchdown. He is running a slant. The Saints here are going to be in a cover 0 where they have straight man coverage on everybody. And so Legette's going to be one-on-one with this cornerback at the top of your screen. Look at the way he attacks the cornerback off the line with a really good amount of burst and then just leaves him with no option. So he attacks him, then jumps inside, creates the separation, gets the ball, easy touchdown. Just look at how he attacks the cornerback here, though. Boom. Easy money. And here we have another negative play by Legette. What he's going to do is run a little curl go. And so he's going to fake as though he's just running a little curl route here. Then he's going to spin out of it and head vertically downfield. The Saints are going to be in a cover 1 man. And so you're going to get a robber right here. You're going to get your deep middle field safety. And then you're going to get your man coverage throughout. And so on this play, I really don't think he sells the curl enough. The cornerback does not bite at all. And then once he tries to gain steam vertically, but he really isn't able to separate here. But worse than that, the ball is going to be in his hands and he's going to allow the cornerback to take it from him, which is just, you can't do it. And so right here, I really just, he doesn't really... if you were the cornerback here, do you think that he is going to catch this ball half turned inside here? I don't. And so I don't think he sold the curl enough. So then he's going to spin out of it and he really isn't able to get any separation. He's going to try to push off at the very end, which I do like. It's going to go in his hands and it's going to end up in the corners for an interception. And so just on this specific play, it just seems kind of lethargic in my opinion. And like I said, I really just don't think he sells it enough, but he doesn't really get too much separation. And unfortunately for the Panthers, the ball does end up being intercepted. And so here, same game, we have a mixture of good and bad, in my opinion. So you're going to have Coker attempting to run a deep over, and then you're going to get a post behind that from Legette. As far as the Saints are concerned, you're going to get cover 3. So you have your 3 deep third defenders with your underneath coverage. And so on this play, I'll show what I mean. He's going to get going, and so I like he's just heading vertically downfield. But you'll notice he looks to the left to see if this space is going to be open, which is just tipping off the cornerback on the outside here where he's going. Now, it isn't going to end up costing him. He's actually going to catch this ball, but that is a little bit dangerous, tipping off the defense where you're going. And so you'll see that he starts to head inside. He is going to get this ball. Now, afterwards, he fights off multiple defenders, and it takes 3 grown men to tackle him, which is pretty impressive. But I just didn't like the way he tipped off where he was going inside here. If anything, I think it would have been good to potentially fake outside to keep the distance between this cornerback and yourself before heading inwards. Because, like I said, you're just tipping off where you're going here. And it didn't end up mattering, and it took 3 grown men to tackle him. So there's absolutely a pro to that, but I don't like the way he ran that route. And here we have a positive play against the Buccaneers. So he's going to take the inside leverage here, then fight to get back outside on a corner route. The Bucs are going to be in cover 3, and so you'll have your 3 deep third defenders with your underneath coverage. And so on this play, Jamil Dean, number 35 here, is going to be extremely physical and hold him. Look at how he throws him off of him to complete this catch, and then zips past him frontwards and backwards to try to get some additional yak. Pretty impressive. And so you see at the top right here, he is getting mauled. So he throws him off of him, gets some separation, catches it, spins inside to try to get some yak, then crosses him back over. And isn't able to get anything after the catch, but I really like the attempt at getting yards after the catch there, and obviously fighting through defensive holding and getting a solid amount of separation doing so. And so look at that. And taking a look at Legette against the Eagles, this play is a mixture of both good and bad. So he is running a skinny post deep down the field. You're going to get straight cover 0 from the Eagles, so they are going to have straight man coverage with everybody else blitzing. And so on this play, he is going to win vertically. He's going to get a ton of separation, absolutely toast Darius Slay. Unfortunately, in the process of catching this ball, it is going to hit the ground, and so it'll be ruled incomplete, and so it's a drop. But as far as the route's concerned, Legette toasted Darius Slay. So right here, he's going to hit him with a little hezzy. He's going to fake to the outside, run straight by him. Look at that separation. And unfortunately, it's going to hit the ground, which is devastating because the Panthers were losing 22-16 at this point, I believe. And this potentially gets the Panthers the win over the Eagles. And so once again, pretty devastating. But on a positive note, look at him win vertically and toast Darius Slay. And on this final play against the Buccaneers, we are going to get a slant from Legette. The Bucs are going to be in a straight cover 0, so every one of these guys are blitzing, and you're going to get straight man coverage throughout. And so on this play, he's one-on-one against Zion McCollum. Bryce Young is going to have a free rusher, so he is going to trust Legette to come down with this ball. And Legette does come down with this ball while having his legs taken out from under him in what should have been pass interference. Look at this grab. And so you'll see he has no time to throw this ball. He is trusting Legette here. Watch this catch. He was being tackled as he's trying to catch this from his legs. His legs get taken out. That is impressive. And Zion McCollum isn't a scrub either. He definitely doesn't have the name recognition of somebody like Pat Surtain, but this is an incredible catch. And so we've seen a little bit of inconsistency for sure on film with him, but the highs are incredibly high. And so, what are we to think of Xavier Legette? Well, he did struggle at times to win vertically. We saw on that one stutter go against the Saints where he caused the defender to slip, but he really didn't gain any separation afterwards. And then the pass was ahead of him, so what is he supposed to do there? But then we did see other times, like that one post against the Eagles to potentially win the game, where he absolutely toasted Darius Slay, got behind the defense, but unfortunately the ball did hit the ground, and so it was a drop. We also saw that one play, potentially the sun got in his way, but he just dropped a pass in which he had both hands on the ball. But then we also saw times where he mossed guys. We saw in the back corner of the end zone on that corner route where he skied high to catch that pass. And then we also saw on that slant against cover 0 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers where Bryce Young trusted him to come down with the ball. And he was being tackled from the feet by Zion McCollum as he was trying to catch the pass and still came down with it. And so, in my opinion, to be in the NFL, given that both of his parents passed away, he was a converted quarterback out of high school, I think that's incredibly impressive. I think that we do see good things from him on film, but I do think at this point in time, he does struggle with his consistency. I think he's more of a linear athlete on the DK Metcalf plan. We'll see if he can expand his route tree. But in general, you don't want him running more than one-cut routes because he just doesn't have the agility to do so, in my opinion. But I do think that he has a lot of room for improvement. And what I mean by that is I do think he's going to get quite a bit better than he is now. And I don't think that – I think that the advanced stats do paint a picture that he is struggling a little bit, but I think the nature of the offense is also, it's just a very poor offense from time to time. And so I think that plays a factor there for sure. Bryce Young, obviously being 5'10", does have his limitations. And so I don't think he's ever going to be a complete dominant 3-level wide receiver 1, but I do think that he is going to be quite a bit better than he is now. And I think when you contextualize all of this and put it together, that he is performing quite a bit better than some of these counting stats and advanced stats suggest. I think the inconsistencies in his game is what's causing some of this and the dysfunctional nature from time to time of the Panthers offense. But what do you think? Do you think I'm a little bit too high on him and optimistic? Do you think potentially I'm too low on him and he's a lot better than even I'm saying? If so, let me know below in the comment section and let me know why. And by the way, make sure you check out my other prospect videos where we took a look at Marvin Harrison, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, Ladd McConkey, Keon Coleman, and the like. And make sure you check out my other ones that are coming up next. I'm going to be doing all of the rookie wide receivers, Brock Bowers, some of the rookie running backs, as well as all of the starting quarterbacks without JJ McCarthy that were rookies. And so yeah, make sure you check out those videos as they come out. And once again, if you like what you've seen and heard, feel free to like and subscribe. It's a free and easy way to support the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. Thanks.